We're struggling with something that many of you, if not all of you in this room, have heard of. And it's a struggle with cutting, and it came out of depression, and there was self-harm in all kinds of ways. And as I was struggling with it, I remember there was times where I kept thinking, when is this going to end? And I kept coming close, and I kept feeling like this is almost over, and I'm almost done with it. But then it wouldn't go away. And one year, a while ago, I went to an event called Kingdom Bound, and it was in New York, and a guy named Michael W. Smith was on stage, who I loved growing up, and it was so cool to see him. But I was next to a friend of mine who had walked through this with me. She'd walked through the whole cutting and everything, and I admitted it to her a long time before that. And I remember Michael W. Smith singing a line from a song called Friends, and it was, "Friends are friends forever when the Lord's the Lord of them." And at that moment, I don't know why, because I had heard the song before, but it hit me that God loved me so much infinitely more than even this girl who had walked through all of this stuff with me. You know, she had been constantly through the times of saying, like, how can I help you? And then I would just go back to it, and it can be so frustrating as a friend. But I remember realizing during that song that I was actually hurting God every time I cut myself. But I don't want you to misunderstand me. It wasn't like I was hurting God like he was mad at me. It was sort of like, have you ever had a friend doing something that you really badly don't want them to do, and you just wish they would stop? And it's not directly hurting you, but seeing somebody so close to you hurting just hurts you so much. And I felt like that's what God was saying, that every time, Pip, you cut yourself, you're hurting me because I love you so much that I just want you to be able to stop that. And so at that moment, I decided to give my life to Christ in a way that would change my life, and it did change my life on a daily basis, and the hope that I had. But again, I want to be completely open and honest with you tonight and say that at that moment, the struggle with cutting did not stop. I was a Christian, and things did get better, and the situations didn't change, but my life did change, my spirit changed. But at the same time, the cutting, the struggle was always there, the temptation was always there, and here I am quite a while later, and the struggle is still there. But there's one important thing about that, and that's that if you were to get to know me and you were to see the spots that I used to cut, you would see that there aren't fresh scars there anymore. And the reason why that is because the hope that I have in Jesus Christ, which is a bit of a Christian way of saying it, and what I'm saying is that what Jesus gives me on a daily basis as a personal friend of mine, and as I read the Bible and figure out that God loves me so much, on a daily basis, I've got enough hope to get by. Sometimes in my personality, I can look way, way too far in the future, and I can start to get worried, like, how am I going to pull this off? And when I think about finally ending the struggle with cutting for good, I think, I'm never going to be able to do that, but I can get through today, and then I can get through the next day and the next day, because on a continual basis, I talk to my God and I say, Lord, I need help, and he gives me the hope, and he gives me people around me who are stuck with me to be able to walk me through it. So I want to show you something real quick. You might have seen these out in the lobby beforehand. It says, "When will I wake up?" And this is a pamphlet that I made because of this, and Anthem for today has been putting out. Now, when I heard about pamphlets, I would always say, I don't want to read it. I'm not much of a pamphlet reader, so I decided to write this from a perspective of a cutter, something that in the moment I would want to be able to read. So this pamphlet is not an eternal solution. That's God's job. This pamphlet is what you can use when you're in that moment, when you need something to just get you by, just long enough to talk to somebody. For example, there's ideas. And it's crazy because I wrote this, but they've helped me quite a few times. For example, if you cut to express pain or intense emotions, try this instead. If you cut to calm and soothe yourself, try this instead. There's all kinds of reasons why different people cut, but here's some ideas to get by. One thing I just want to mention is that there's some quotes in here from some well-known people who have struggled with cutting. People like Angelina Jolie and Johnny Depp and Megan Fox and Princess Diana. People who our society says have it all together, but who still struggle with it. The very last thing I want to say about this is that when I was cutting on a regular basis, I felt alone. And I thought that there was nobody else around me to struggle with it. But I can say to you guys that I'm up here dealing with it too, and it's little things like this that get me by, and it's my friends, and it's my God. So that's what Anthem for Today is all about. That's why we are here today, to tell you guys about that and to say that there is hope to get you through today, and you do not need to continue cutting, you don't need to continue feeling depressed or anything like that. So I encourage you to grab one of these from our merch booth or grab it from a table out there, talk to somebody close to you about it, and maybe use these in those moments that you just feel like you can't get by. The song we're going to play is called Wake Up, and we wrote it with Dallas McCrutch, and Trevor McNevin sang on it because he knows that this is an issue that we need to deal with. So we hope you like it.
Everything I need, take my philosophy.